throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dear James, and I, of course, am joined by my incredibly fabulous. And there we go. There's a little bit of Mercury retrograde for you. You always forget one thing. It's just it's the tail end, right, Jaclyn? It's the tail end of Mercury retrograde. We're sliding right on out. Anyways, to reiterate, I am your host, Dear James, and I am joined by my incredibly fabulous host, the Lady Jaclyn. And together we join forces to bring you weekly wisdom and insights from an intuitive perspective and from a human design perspective. And we, throughout the broadcast, take your questions live. So no matter whether it's business, relationship, personal, love, whatever it might be, ask your questions, give us a shout out in the comments so that we know you're joining us and where you're joining us from as we move through this incredible new energy. I'm so very excited, Jaclyn, about this June, just June onward. There's something really magical happening here. So what do you think?
Yeah, I could feel it. I'd love to know how everybody else is feeling, but I definitely felt the shift. I felt a lot more. It's so weird because it's almost like you can feel it within your body, like this energetic shift that's taking place. And because we have this awareness, you have the awareness of the shift. It's not like you're kind of going on to your day-to-day life, right? So what I've been feeling before we dive into what the chart says and your intuitive guidance is definitely a whole lot more like ready to take action. I mean, okay, that's nothing new. We've been speaking about
we've
that
been ready
for a while.
we've been ready to take the action, right? Now we're
ready.
Now we're being given permission. Yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you said it so beautifully, because it is almost like we're not just standing and waiting kind of ready. We're really ready, and we're getting slow indicators of like, okay, this is the direction, or this is your next step, or this is. So it's not like one big kind of push through. It's not this masculine kind of fighting energy. It's still, again, being in balance, in flow, and watching to see what you're getting in. Like in my case, invited, being a projector, being invited to, like, where do I feel invited to actually take action? What is going to actually be the best way for me to put my energy into, so that I actually can then, stay on the course and then also reap the benefits. So it's so beautiful how you said it's like we're getting the permission now to take action, but also it comes with the knowing and understanding of being open to see which is the right action to take and when.
And they're saying, while you were saying that, they were saying literally to initiate, the invitation to initiate and be initiated. And so there's this beautiful double meaning here, double opportunity, because it is that, and it's interesting how, today is the 1st, right? It's the June 1st. So the creative force, and you had just said, not the masculine, aggressive, but the creative force being, the raw power, the raw energy, and yet there's a refined balance to it. There's a refinement to it. And so it's both to initiate and to be initiated. And that being initiated, meaning being initiated into something new, revelatory, so as to be changed. And so that's really on offer and play here. And before we jump into everything, where we left off last week was really quite important, because the unseen asked me to ask you, where is the sun going? And they said SUNSON. And of course, you had talked about gate 16, that you have all the skills, the tools, you have all the necessaries. And so look at this energy that we're talking about. Like, we're both smiling. We're both like, it's so ready. It's so time. Because we have everything we need to move forward. And it may, and again, I saw this on a tarot video. It said, you may not see it yet. However, it's here, it's coming, it's there for you. And that's exactly, that kind of sums it up. It's like it's anticipatory. You can feel the shift. You can feel the awareness that things are opening up, readying us, and then here, we may not yet see it, but here it is. It's available.
Absolutely. I mean, I can feel it 110%. Just before we dive in further, because I'm super excited, I want to remind everyone, as you are tuning in live with us, please drop in the comments if you feel called to. Let us know where you're tuning in from, where you are watching us live from, and if you're on the replay, then #replay so that we know that you're there as well, and we can connect with you energetically afterwards. It's always nice to kind of feel like, we're the word is one, and it's so I'm having a little giggle because that it actually gives beautiful introduction into the energy of today with that oneness. And I'll speak about that a little bit later, but it's actually beautiful how it came to play now, where we're actually all one, we're actually all connected, even though we're tuning in from across the world, we're across the waters, and we're not in the same city. So it's always so beautiful to be able to hold space, and also the beauty and the gratitude that we have for technology, to be able to do this so that we can connect, and that we can hold space for each other.
That we can do this and come together. And just to remind everyone, we are taking your questions live. And the whole beauty, it's such an honor and a privilege. So beyond the weekly wisdom and insights of the energies and so forth, it's to answer any of your specific questions, to listen to the unseen, to see it from a human design perspective, and to assist you all. That is really the honor and the privilege that the Lady Jaclyn and I come weekly to do this and everything. So by all means, feel free to put your questions, your comments, and so forth in the comment section, and we'll address them throughout the show. So, and hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Lori. Always lovely, lovely, lovely. I love these souls all around the globe. Like you just said, it's just, it makes me smile. It really does as we come together. So, Jaclyn, let's jump in.
1st of June. What is happening this 1st of June?
I'm going to just throw it up. What are the current energies from the intuitive insights and human design perspective? And I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in here with this because it was so funny. I literally, for everybody that doesn't know, I'm going to just show it for a second. When I sit down before the shows that the Lady Jaclyn and I do on Wednesdays, I listen to the unseen, and they give me my sheet. And this is much like what I do when I do a personal reading. And so 3 shows, the past 3 weeks, were on one side of the page. And there's just a little bit, maybe 2 inches at the bottom left of blank space. And I'm like, nope. And I flipped it over. And as I flipped it over, I heard the main theme, which is turning the page on the past. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go with this. So turning the page on the past. And then I wrote down the date, June 1st, 2022. And immediately, Jaclyn, there was this, we know that, so 2022, double sixes. It's a 6. The month of June, a 6. So we have bookending 6s. And so we have double 6s. So kind of this double, and we've been talking about this and speaking to it. The 6 on the 6, there we go. The 6 on conflict and destiny, how it represents conflict and destiny. 6s also represent spirit and service. So it's, again, where are we aligned? What are we focused on? Are we living our lives, our businesses, our leadership, governments? Are we in alignment with spirit and service? Are we in alignment with conflict? Are we in alignment with destiny? So destiny meaning the arc of time, the movement forward, where we're going, not where we've been. And literally turning the page on the past. And then today it's a 1, and it's about the creative force, new beginnings, raw energy. Within 2022, we have both the 22, which is the master builder number. It's the most powerful master number. And then we have 222, because there's 3 2s. So the amplification of the energy of the 2. And I just want to really quickly go to the angel number, and it talks about the fact that this is all about that 222 lends its influences of faith and trust, encouragement, attainment and success, adaptability, diplomacy, cooperation, duality, service and duty, balance and harmony, selflessness, faith and trust, and your divine life purpose and soul mission. So you can see all these beautiful, things that the Lady Jaclyn was just speaking to about the harmony, the balance, these things where the raw force, the creative force isn't the masculine, the run roughshod type masculine. It is the creative force, meaning raw power in a refined way, in a balanced way, in an initiatory, to initiate way, this type of energy. And so all of these are playing together. And I was sitting there, I'm like, wow, okay, so we've got some really powerful energy moments. And then I heard wonder, and they underlined it, wonder beyond words. And there was this instant awareness, Jaclyn, that when they said beyond words, that it said to me, it's not something we talk about. The wonder beyond words. The wonder is going to be felt. It's going to be innate. It's going to be internal. It's not mental. It is literally this wonder beyond words. It's intrinsic. It's a feel. It's felt and realized, is the way they said it. And so with that, I looked up, what's the definition of the word wonder, to get a very specific. And it says, a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration, caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. So I was literally like, the universe on behalf. And I know I'm looking at the Lady Jaclyn and I'm going, she's now, where's the literal and the practical, James? Bring this down. And the way they're expressing it is going to be something felt. The wonder, the awe and the wonder is going to be realized, felt. It will be literal. And so, and they're saying in my head, wait for it. It's literally that, something inexplicable, unfamiliar, unexpected, and yet beautiful, and with admiration. And then as a verb, that's a noun. As a verb, it means desire or be curious to know something. So there's the wonder in being curious about something. And then there's another definition of it as a verb is to feel doubt. And so again, conflict, destiny. If you're in conflict, you may be in a space of feeling doubt about it, disbelieving, not believing what's occurring. So meaning you're going to fight against it as opposed to flowing with it. We've talked about this, riding the wave in, being on the high of the wave and riding it in versus being pummeled by it. And last but not least, they said to me, a tipping point in the cosmos and in the collective center. And immediately I was drawn to the fact that the upcoming full moon on June 14th is it's Sagittarius. It's in Sagittarius at 23 degrees. The galactic center of our Milky Way and everything is at 26 degrees Sagittarius. So they, in essence, are conjunct. They're within 5 degrees of each other. And lastly, so when I wrote down 614, the 14 actually connected and it made an H. And I was like, oh, there's something about that. And so I went to the spiritual meaning of the letter H. And it speaks about how Cheth or Heth is the 8th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, meaning field or fence. It corresponds to the letter H in the English language, in the English alphabet. And it talks about the ground or field here is our body, mind, and consciousness. When we till the ground, it means that we have to use the power of H, discipline, to cultivate our virtues and righteousness in our actions. And we were just speaking about, the Lady Jaclyn just spoke about this initiatory. We're talking about how we move forward. And we do it with discipline, not roughshod. And it says, only after that will we be accepted back to the Garden of Eden. Thus, the spiritual meaning of letter H is the ground or the stone that the Masons need to refine to spiritually ascend higher to the heavens. The other thing that was really amazing about this is the H also represents the stairway, the ladder to heaven. It represents as above, so below, because it's where they speak of where Horus dwells in the canopy of the H. And so there's this, and the H, it says the H being corresponding to the number 8, as above so below, it says is representative of karma, meaning you shall reap what you sow, meaning, again, where are your actions, your thoughts, your being, your energy in alignment? What's it in alignment with? Because that is what you will draw to you. And so there's a beautiful, beautiful issue here, Jaclyn, where the power of this new is, the way they're saying to me, is on fire. It's just, and they often speak about baptism by fire. We're very familiar with baptism by water from a religious standpoint, if you will. Baptism by fire. Baptism by fire means the Holy Spirit, being moved or transcended by the Holy Spirit. The letter H, this tipping point, this new, all of this is culminating in a turning of the page on the past.
You know, I was like, while you were speaking in the back end, I was smiling because I was like, we really can't make this stuff up. Like you've literally articulated word for word an explanation of what human design is showing us. It is quite fascinating and quite interesting at the same time. And I sit here in wonder and awe with curiosity going, okay, like, how does this all connect? Let's see. It's so interesting because from a human design standpoint, we have shifted. So last week when you asked me, we obviously shifted into the gate 16, and we are shifting depending on your time zone today, tomorrow morning, this evening, but around now we're shifting from the 16 into the 35. That gate 35 is still in that throat center, but it's on the opposite side and it goes towards the solar plexus. What that gate 35 represents in human design, it's the gate of change and the gate of progress. And then from there is also the gate 35, when you look at the quantum human design, Corinne Curry Parker's quantum human design, she calls it the gate of experience. So I want to quickly read you, just quickly from her kind of like bio of what she explained the gate to be. So she has brought in the quantum human design, and the gate 35 experience, the mastery is the ability to know which experiences are worthy and worthwhile, to partake in the right experience and to share your knowledge from the experience for the sake of changing the story of what's possible in the world. Now, if we dive deeper into the human design gate 35, what's so beautiful as well, it's all about the progress of humanity. So when you're looking at progress, what does that actually mean? What does it look like? It's asking yourself the question, are you looking at progress from an internal standpoint or an external standpoint? And this is kind of where you touched on already. It's looking at it's an internal process. So we've been conditioned and we've got this genetic makeup of kind of going external, right? Kind of looking outside of ourselves. And what's happening is, in order to really stand in full awareness, you've got to go internal. So if you're really struggling, or if it feels like nothing's working out for you, it's because potentially what's happening is you're trying to look outside of yourself for the answers. You're trying to gain fulfillment outside of yourself, and this is a real internal process. I know for me as well, it's like I was fighting this for so long until the universe was like, okay, well, you're not wanting to listen, so let me actually force you, let me shock you, because we know, like, I've got the gate 41, let me shock you into actually going within. And now it's kind of going, okay, hold on, what does it look like? And it's a constant journey because it's part of this human experience, right? It's that story of the two wolves, right? Which wolf are you feeding at this point in time? And kind of asking yourself, like, are you focusing on the external, the materialistic? Are you pointing fingers? Are you falling prone to the shadow of judgment or boredom or that manic behavior, trying to not feel, so you keep yourself busy, right? Those are all the things that we kind of brought into, or we planted the seed of last week and the week before as well. So I want to really ask you to ask yourself the question, before you take action, to kind of ask yourself and say, do you currently feel fulfilled in your career? Do you currently feel fulfilled in your job, in your relationship, in your own body, right? And instead of trying to find the answers externally, to kind of go, okay, hold on, I need to actually change my job and therefore I will feel better, or I actually need to change where I live and therefore I feel more comfortable, or change the partner, or instead of looking external, go within and go, okay, hold on, what is actually coming up for me that I need to actually deal with and move through so that I can truly feel fulfilled. And remember, I started the show with oneness, that word oneness, it's coming through. And this is so beautiful because the gate 35 is really asking us to go within and open our hearts. And what's so beautiful is when you start actually like calming down, or kind of taking a step back. And this is what that retrograde season kind of gave us the last, I think it was a month.
3 weeks. It's ending. Yeah, it's 3 weeks. Yep.
Yeah, so for the last 3 weeks, we've been in retro, and I think Pluto is also in retro and is probably going to go out and it's going to go back in October. So there's a couple of retrogrades happening towards the end, from now until the end of the year. So there's going to be beautiful opportunities for you to actually reconnect internally, because if things aren't happening external, it's because the universe is really kind of shaking up to go internal, so that you can truly connect, so that you can truly understand what it means to feel that oneness, to feel the source, to feel your heart expanding, exploding with the abundance that you are so deserving of. What's so interesting is, and I had this awareness when I was doing a bit of research and kind of going, okay, so we're stepping into gate 35, what does that look like? Yesterday, I did a session with 4 different people, and they all had themes that played around the heart center. And at the time, I was like, oh, this is very fascinating. Like, all 4 of them are all heart-centered, and they're all completely different, but it's all the themes around the heart center. And yeah, the 35 is really asking us to break our hearts open. And that heart center, that will center, is all about value. It's all about self-worth. It's all about the willingness, the will. Do you have the willingness to XYZ, fill in the blank, right? Do you feel your worth? Are you standing in your worth? And then it's also like, I also want to kind of go to contemplating oneness, because it's really beautiful when the word oneness is so expansive. But then when I really started to contemplate, I really started to feel that energy of what does oneness actually look like? Because it's easy to kind of say, okay, yes, I'm stepping into this awareness, I know what oneness is, but then we're falling into that human experience of judgment, when that person cuts us off in the traffic, or when we get frustrated because the item that we bought and then they don't want to take it back, or something human happens, right? External from us. And we kind of fall into this space of, oh, the family's going a bit cray-cray again. Like, am I really one with them? Am I really one with the person that's cutting me off in the traffic? But it's really contemplating and going, what does oneness mean to you? What does oneness look like to you? What does oneness feel to you, right? It was really interesting. Like, that energy for me, James, was kind of, it stopped me dead it like literally cut my what do you call it, preparation. It kind of brought it to a standstill, and was really kind of, my intuition was going, just contemplate the word oneness.
And they were just saying, while you were saying that, they said oneness is pi, the golden ratio. And when you realize, and of course the golden ratio, pi, the golden ratio, it can go from the finite to the infinite, and it never loses its composition, its wholeness, its oneness. And so imagine, from each individual to the whole of the whole, the expansiveness and the contraction, and it never loses its wholeness, its consistency. And that is very interesting. So when, yes, we are experiencing in oneness, in unity, we are experiencing, look at in the conflict of the 6 year, we are experiencing, even if we are not living it ourselves, participating in conflict, we are experiencing it because it's a part of the greater collective. It's a part of what is being released. That shadow element, the fear of change, the fear of destiny, of where things are moving. And so even if we are not the ones actively participating and perpetuating it, And both and the beauty, look at the, I mean, it's painful beyond belief to experience, to bear witness to, and yet there is an intrinsic beauty, because there's a purity in the fact that these souls choose to experience it in a way. They have an outcome that they want to keep something. They want it to stay the way it is or was. And yet that causes, for every action, there's a reaction. That action causes those that are not wanting to do that, those that are moving forward in oneness and unity, to rise even greater. Their light shines even more. And so it's the beauty, the symmetry, the beauty, the wholeness. It's not to say that that is not painful. It is. And yet it speaks to what you're talking about, where for experiences where it's centered on the heart center. It's because we've talked about cracking open the heart, like open up to your greatest potential, open up to the purity, to the wisdom of the universe. The unseen
and what does
as
that
well.
actually entail? It act like on a practical level. I'm having an internal laugh. Is that you're literally having to dive headfirst into emotions.
Right.
So it's looking at what is coming up on an emotional level for you during this time. What has been coming up for you over the last 6 months? Is it the same pattern? Is it a different pattern? Is it just a layer of a similar pattern that's coming up? But kind of the only way you're going to get through this is by literally going through it. It's facing it head on. And it's kind of going, okay, this is where I am. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. Let me move through it, because you have the strength, you have the courage, you have the tenacity, you have the resources, you have the capability to actually get through it, because otherwise you wouldn't be facing it. So anything that you're needing to go through right now, it's you needing to go through it, because on the other end is exactly what you're actually desiring, even if you can't on a mental level fathom it, because the whole process is requiring you to get out of your head and back into your heart, which is going to require you to feel.
Right, and you have the will, because the will is part of the contract. It's the soul's contract. So it can, that beauty in the will of it. And so look at that. Elizabeth mentioned that 4 months ago, into changing my mind and thoughts, putting that into action, but getting rejections more than exceptions. Of course, it's making me question, am I aligned with my path? One of the first things, Elizabeth, is remember, this is all about the new. The new you, the new whole, the new us, the new. And so sit with yourself, be mindful. Are you forcing, are you trying to attain an old story, an old version of yourself, versus one that it may give you, may be uncomfortable, because it's giving you, the way it's coming to me is like, it's nervous energy, because you're not sure, well, what does that look like? It's kind of like, I know what I know. And so this is coming through with you, and it will be, and this will resonate for many, because the issue is we're being asked to Mercury retrograde, as Jaclyn was just speaking about these, and the retrogrades that are here, re-envision, reinterpret, realign. And what does that mean? Well, I have to open myself, got to open my heart chakra, I got to open myself to a new and improved me, a new vision of me. What do I do? What do I absolutely love? What am I most passionate about? And how does that come to me? How do I experience it? Because again, if we're looking behind us, we're looking to the old, we won't see the new. We won't open ourselves to the new. And so it's kind of like they're showing you the way, like you might think that it's linear, that it goes straight forward. Well, it might not. It might veer off and go over here, so as to meet, experience, do, so as to circle back, like an S, like a beautiful, smooth, undulating S path. It's not it's not necessarily the straightforward, linear, I arrived. Because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So for Elizabeth and everyone, ask yourself, how might I be different with what I'm looking to achieve? I've got Lori just popped in. Lori, she just ended her business and this, some years of away. What is the new of her? What do you have, Jaclyn?
So I want to see if I can, if I click share screen, will it share the chart?
I believe it will. Let's see if it...
Let's see what it does. Hold on. Window. Oh, there we go. Let's do window. Okay, I should see. So you should see Elizabeth's chart.
And let's see,
Let me
something's...
know if it's coming up.
No, it popped to a... let's see if we can do this here. There it is. Now let's share. A little bit of technical. Let's see. I'm going to assign this.
I'm really innovating here. I'm putting James on the spot.
She's literally like, "Hey, do this. I'm going to share her. I'm going to share her chart right now. Do it. Just pop it up there." Let's see here. Well, I can see it in the green room. I'm not seeing it live with everyone, so I am. Let's see if it goes. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
There we have it. Yes. So you are now her chart is up.
Nothing on my end. Okay, great. Because nothing on my end changed. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually just show the chart to you guys because so this is Elizabeth's chart, and based on your question, Elizabeth, thank you for giving the details, and I hope you don't mind that I pulled up your chart for everyone to see, but it is also for you to actually notice where I'm getting the information from. So based on your question and and the beautiful intuitive guidance that James has given you, which is so incredible and it's so on par, the reason that you're feeling like there's a lot of rejection right now, again, I smiled, was because you also do have a defined heart center. And it's so incredible how that will obviously come up because the theme, like I mentioned yesterday, or like I mentioned my experience about yesterday, was that everyone that I was actually connecting with was all about that defined heart center. So if you're looking at your gate 51, which is actually in the heart center, that is the first thing that popped up, even though it's in your subconscious, is you being redirected. So if, for example, the things you're feeling like there's a lot more rejection than actually acceptance, it's kind of going, instead of looking at it as a bad thing, look at it as the universe is literally redirecting you so that you can get on the right path. So I want to kind of remind you to stop fighting it. And James kind of gave you that theme of control, and we can see with your heart center, because you have the 45 and the 21 defined, you want to control things because you're naturally gifted to be the person who is in control of what you're supposed to be in control of. Okay, you'll understand what I mean when I say that. So when you look at it, you're the person that's naturally in control of like the finances or the resources, or you're the person that everyone would be like, oh no, she'll just take charge of that, right? Because it's natural to you. What's happening though is if you're wanting to control the trajectory of your life, the direction of your life, that's kind of where you're hitting a little bit of roadblocks. Remember, you kind of have to be open to the surprise. You have a right arrow that's facing right. Your right hand arrow, the bottom right hand is facing right. That's a lot of right. But with that, it shows me that for you, you've really got to embody that feminine energy of reciprocity, receiving, being open to the surprise and the awe and the wonder and the curiosity of what life has to show you. You've got a 53 in your sun sign, so you love starting new projects. So instead of getting lost or trapped in the idea of the rejection, go towards more of the energy and that state and that flow of, the surprise and the wonder and the awe of what life has to offer me and what the potentials and the opportunities are there that I maybe cannot see or that are waiting for me. Remember, you're responding to life. As a manifesting generator, your strategy, you can see on the right-hand side, says to respond. So you don't have to create anything. Just by your nature of desiring and then calling it into your, I want to say, energy field or your the embodiment of what you truly want, you're naturally launching rockets of what it is that you're desiring. So you don't have to go out and physically create it. All you actually got to do is listen and intuitively know, by listening to that gut response and listening to your strong intuition, because you do, when the right time is to actually take action. And then you take inspired action, and automatically you'll see everything will change from rejection to acceptance. So the biggest theme right now is really focusing, again, also on the last thing that I wanted to deter from it, but then it was like screaming at me, is ambition. So again, looking at the question of this energy that's coming up for you, for all of us, the collective energy is all about success and fulfillment. Are you looking at it from an external point of view, a materialistic point of view, or you're looking at it from an internal point of view? And maybe it is that the universe is kind of redirecting you. So all you got to do is release and surrender. And I know you want to move through things quickly because you're a money gen. Manifesting generators love to move through things quickly. And you're going to move through things quickly. This is going to be a quicker process than you even expect, as long as you release and you stay open to the awe, the wonder, the surprise that the universe has to offer you. Okay, let me know if that resonates with you, and we should be back.
We should be back here live together. Where do we go? Oh, it's so fun. There we are.
I know.
And we're back.
I was just, there we go. I was just like, because I was like, actually, I would love to show up the charts.
Yeah,
So
that was amazing. That was beautiful. Look at us in Mercury retrograde, moving right through it, getting fancy and everything. It's amazing. I love it. And see, something new that's being introduced and so forth. And
desiring change, doing something different.
Exactly. And before we jump into Lori's question, just to add again, Elizabeth, do not focus and do not see this as disappointment. It is not that. It is literally, we talked about this before, protection, not rejection. It is about being moved, being guided to more of you. They're saying to me, it's about not playing it small. None of us are meant to play it small, and that is no judgment or anything in terms of what you've been doing or how you're going about. It's saying the universe, your soul source connection, the universe is saying, no, there's more. It's like kind of like go big or go home. It's like go big in the way of what's the new you, what's the ascended you, what's the next version, the incarnation within the incarnation of you. And this, of course, leads right into Lori's. She said, thanks, James. That prompts me to ask a question, if you both don't mind. I've been offered a job opportunity and am wondering, what can I expect if I take this job? And immediately, there's an issue. It's Mercury retrograde. And so immediately, really look, Lori, at what you think. I can just stop myself because they're like this. Just stop. They're like this. No. I'm going to cut to the chase, Lori. You don't need to rush or take this. You don't need to accept the first thing that comes. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to fear anything, because what you may think you're getting, and it's a Mercury retrograde and so forth, so you're going to, eventually will be, well, wait a minute, I signed up for this and now it's that. And so there's a lot of, which can cause frustration, turmoil, resentment, these types of things. They're saying to me, there's something better waiting in the wings, is the way they're saying it to me. So again, divine time, not thine time, not our time. It's that, give it just a little bit longer, get through the retrograde period, because again, even with this current offer or the way it is, it may revise or change because you don't accept it. You don't accept it in the way that it is. And I hear like you're somewhat talking yourself into this. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. I can make it. You don't need to do that. What you and you've already created 11, 22. you've got two of the master numbers in your birth date. The year of your birth becomes a 19, which becomes a 10, which becomes a 1. We're talking about 1, new energy. We're speaking with Elizabeth, with you, with this topic of approaching things from the new, not the old you, the new you. Really going for it, really placing yourself upon the path of your destiny, of the gate 16, this, you have everything, who you are, your authentic true self. So the unseen is saying, hold tight, option number 2 is coming, and it will be in alignment. It'll be in greater alignment. Jaclyn?
Can I share my screen again?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see.
Let's do it. Hold on, let me just get the right. There we go. Then I'll wait to see you let me know.
There we go. It's up.
Okay. So Laurie, now the Manny Jen, which is so powerful and beautiful. The beauty about human design is one of the things that it actually tells us is exactly how we're best designed to make decisions, which is so beautiful. So when you're at a crossroads and you kind of go, oh, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I choose this? Should I do that? We're so programmed to go straight into our minds and try to work out, pro con lists, or trying to analyze, or trying to justify or rationalize. It's all mental. Human design shows us that none of the decision-making process should be done in the mind. It actually you should drop back down into your alignment, and for each of us it looks different based on our decision-making authority. And for Laurie, your decision-making authority is your sacral. So it's called inner authority on your chart, and you're a sacral being. Now, what does that look like? It means if you look at your chart, you'll see the red square, and to the left of that, you'll see also a brown kind of sideways triangle. That is your sacral center and your fear or splenic center, actually. Don't say fear center, let's say splenic center, right? So that tells you is that when you're best designed to make decisions is when you're following your gut response. Now, a rebuttal question would literally be like, if I had to ask you, do you feel in your gut that this is the right job for you to take? Your visual response will come immediately. It's not a thought process. It's kind of like that kid in a candy store feeling. It's kind of going, your body will be your indicator of what your next best move is. Sometimes what happens is because we're so up in our minds, we actually just need another person to ask us the question, and we need to trust, step back, and honor what our body is telling us, right? Now for you, Laurie, it's literally going in my body. When you think about taking the job, what is your body telling you? Is your body kind of feeling heavy? Is it feeling like, oh no, like that feeling in your stomach that just doesn't feel good? Because with a sacral being, so if you have an inner authority that's sacral, if it does not feel like a kid in a candy store, that elated, excited, on the edge of your chair, cannot wait, like feeling, it's a no or not right now. A maybe is never a yes. That is one of the most important things to remember for sacral beings is they're so conditioned to go, maybe, okay, fine, I'll just do it. You down the line, you're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have actually done that because I know that this is not the right path for me. So for you, in making the decision, ask yourself or get someone else to ask you or listen into when I ask you the question of, is this job right for you? What does your body tell you in that moment? And then trust it enough to follow your inner authority, your unique guiding system. In the beginning, especially if you've been so like overly processing in this mental space, it might feel a little bit scary for you to truly trust your body. But this is what the beauty of what human design shows us, right? Because you have a strong gut response, you know, in the moment of what needs to happen or where you're needing to go to, and you have an extremely strong intuition. What is your job now? Your job is to trust it. Is to trust it because you know in the trusting of it and the knowing of it, you know that the universe is going to give you something else to respond to, because just like Elizabeth, manifesting generators are designed to move quickly. So if it's not this, it's going to be something better. You've just got to trust that that process is unfolding for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. That was amazing. It's really, yeah, it's so spot on, and it's so amazing. So look how you were just, so Pamela just added a question. And what's so funny, you were speaking to this, how 4 experiences were heart-centered. Now here's 2 experiences in 2 different years of birth, 1972 and 1981. Both become 19s, which become a 10, which become a 1. So here in our unity of the show today, you can see how, okay, 2 members coming in, 2 different places in the world, both with this 1 marker, that your birth year becomes a 1. We're talking about the 1 today, this creative force and the energies and this turning the page on the past. So right away, and then with Pamela, you have double 9s. So September 9th. Lovely Virgo. Hello, Virgo, fellow Virgo. So it says to me instantly, you're completing a phase. You're completing something of where you are. It's like what's coming to me is been there, done that. Like you've literally been there, done that, and you're anticipating, you're looking for, you're desiring the new. And so in this, you're saying, you're asking about seeking answers and direction for future changes in career. And again, the unseen is inviting you to reimagine yourself. Reimagine meaning really connect, open up and connect with, what is it that I really want to do? Who am I? Because again, we all do things in life. We've all done things where, and this is not a derogatory statement, where we play it safe, we play it small, we do things that we love, that we're in alignment with. And in the current circumstance of where we've been in the energies of the old, that works, that worked. However, now the universe, the unseen, is saying, bump, we've got wonder beyond words for you. We've got a whole new way of being. We've got an Aquarian age, a matriarchal age. We are leaving the past behind us. And so, Pamela, this is the same thing. It's really about, they're saying to me for you, it's about destiny. What do you want that to be? And you can see, for those listening, you can't, but I hope you can hear it in my voice. I'm beaming, I'm smiling from the inside out, because I'm looking at Pamela internally, connecting with her energies and everything. And I'm beaming because I'm like, oh, she knows what she wants to do. She knows who she wants to be. So now it's about taking the initiatory steps, allowing yourself to be initiated into trusting that that's exactly what you're meant to do next. Because again, playing it the same way, playing the same role, no, it's done. It's done, it's over with. Step into the new, imagine the new. And you already know, so now just full faith and trust to move, flow that way. You don't have to force it. It's a flow, it's creative force, flow with it. Jaclyn.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, so we can see Pamela's chart. And it's so beautiful because, Pamela, you are a projector. So a fellow projector, I'm also a projector, and a sphenic projector. So with Laurie, for example, we were speaking about inner authority, how you're best designed to make decisions. For you, you'll see it's sphenic. So you'll actually see your inner authority in your chart says sphenic. So what does that mean? It means that you need to tune into that intuition, that strong, beautiful intuition that you have, that intuition that speaks in the moment, that knowingness that literally wants off in the moment. It almost comes as a whisper sometimes, and it's so easily overpowered by that mental rationality, or like trying to rationalize or trying to prove or disprove, right? Or the emotions. So for you, whenever you're wanting or needing to make a big decision, what's going to be super beneficial for you is to actually take a step back and clear the mind, get silent, and really tune in to your body, tune into that intuition, that strong intuition that you have, allowing it to become louder by trusting it as well. Sometimes I'm also a splenic projector. I can guarantee you that sometimes it's going to feel and it's going to sound like, what do you actually mean? Like I've got this plan today. I don't feel like doing that, or that doesn't make any sense. That's immediately the mind trying to rationalize or trying to negotiate, where the intuition has already spoken. So all your job now is to really tune into that. And Dear James has beautifully put that you already know. You have this knowingness. For you, you are literally a vessel of ideas. I can see that with the 1156 channel. So you are bubbling with ideas. And I want to remind you that every single idea that you have is not necessarily going to manifest in this life. It's not necessarily for you to actually put in the effort and the work to make it to manifest. But sometimes those ideas are actually also for other people around you. So that's also a new way of looking at it. What's so beautiful for a projector to remember is that when you're asking your question about you're seeking answers and direction for the future changes in your career, where do you feel invited? For a projector, it's all about the invitation. It's all about kind of going, where's life inviting me to flow next, right? Where is life inviting me to put my energy? Where do you feel the most recognized? What do you feel the most curious about? What comes so naturally to you, right? Where can you portray that role model energy that comes so beautifully to you? And allow yourself with the gate 64, a beautiful reminder is confusion for you is part of the process. So I almost want to say, allow yourself to move through the confusion, because you have this aha moment at the end. But that confusion that's that part of that process. So don't get lost in the confusion, and don't dislike confusion, because confusion, it's almost like when you go through this confusion, and you'll understand what I mean when I say this, but when you go through the confusion, by allowing the process to naturally unfold, instead of pushing or instead of hustling or instead of forcing, and kind of just staying in alignment and allowing the curiosity of what confusion brings, the answer will actually appear. You'll have that aha moment, that rational kind of like thought will just drop into your mind, and you'll go, oh wait, I never actually thought of it this way, or oh, that's actually an opportunity. So again, it's also touching base with your desires. What are you desiring in this world, and really connect with that. I want to end off by actually reading the Gate 64 from Karen Curry Parker's Quantum Human Design, and she talks about it as transference. And transference is the mastery of the Gate 64 is the ability to receive a big idea and to serve the idea by giving it your imagination and dreaming. And that's that Gate 41 I was talking about. So it's really connecting with what are you imagining for your life? What is your dream for your life, right? Reconnecting with that. And then believing that it's possible. And then I go on to say, to trust that you'll know how to implement the idea if it is yours to make manifest, to hold the energy of the idea for the world. So it's both, goes hand in hand. Either you're a vessel of ideas for everybody else, or it's actually you get that idea and then you actually feel invited to actually then put your energy into and take inspired action to manifest that idea into the world. Does that make sense? Yeah. So apply that into what you're asking, your big general question. Apply that strategy to that question and see what unfolds for you. Does that make sense? Let us know in the comment section.
And I just love that, because as you were speaking and everything, and I saw a projector on her chart, and it was the unseen was saying, see, she's been invited to imagine the new, her new. And in that, it is already yours. It is there, and you've been invited. The unseen, the greatest of the great, has invited you to seek, the new. So to answer, to be literal and practical, this is the universe inviting you to imagine the new. You need not be the old. You won't be the old. You just won't. You will change on your own, on your own time and, grace and everything. However, you've been invited to move forward in a way that really aligns. Well, and Jaclyn, it's so funny because they literally just went like this, and I got really big and smiled again. And it's because they're inviting you to live, to do that, to live that life, live that experience in terms of the work you do, how you align with it. It should be, and this is true for everyone. This is what's on offer. Pamela asked the specific question for all of us to receive. that should be the energy that we are radiating, that we are just living in, is, oh, this just makes me smile from the inside out. And the universe, the unseen, the energies are in alignment with that. They are granting that, which is what makes it even more accessible, more possible. It's always been there. We've just had a different energy set, it's a different energy subset, and it's shifting. And now it's just for us to believe, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Where before we may not have believed we could.
That's self-worth. I'm absolutely loving this space, this energy, to be able to connect with all of you so beautifully. If you're loving this as well, drop us some hearts in the comments so that we can also feed off of your energy as well. Let us know if you're really loving this. Drop some hearts in the comments. What's so beautiful is that myself and James, we get to do what we absolutely love. So to be able to hold space like this for each and every single one of you is absolutely a gift. And I feel so grateful. And I'm also so grateful that for a change, we were able to change it up a little so that you can actually see the modality that I'm using through human design. And you can also see the beauty of how we're both so different, but how it complements each other. It complements the message so beautifully. The one is intuitive guidance. The one is the practical from the human design. I mean, I'm in awe. I'm just
Isn't
loving
it? It's a
this
beautiful
adventure.
tapestry. We're always in awe and wonder. And that's where the wonder is really playing a big role. I would leave everybody and have Jaclyn do her closing comments. It's a turning the page on the past. It's wonder beyond words, and it's going to be intrinsically realized and felt. It's going to be known from the inside out, and that we are at this tipping point in the cosmos, the collective center. That is corresponding with this upcoming full moon. Where is the sun going? This is where the sun, the S-U-N, literally the S-U-N, is moving into Gemini. And then the sun, S-O-N. This is where the sun is going. This is where the radiance of source is moving. This is the future. This is the arc of destiny. This is the harmony, the beauty, the balance, the awe, the wonder, the magnificence of it all. Allow yourselves that journey and that opportunity and that faith and trust and belief while you open yourself to reimagine what that looks like. And then just take a big old deep breath, because we always say fear is our friend, and fear is a catalyst. It's energy. So utilize that. If there's any fear involved, it should be excited fear and all that, but it's unknown, as it said, wonder, something unknown. Allow that to propel you in ways we haven't imagined or that we dream about, but we don't necessarily have live. That's what's on tap. Jaclyn, what are your closing? I'm just beaming. Sorry.
I'm literally I'm having to
I'm like,
my muscles in my cheeks because it's I cannot smile for a full hour. My cheeks are starting to hurt.
It's contagious. It's literally buzzing, and I'm like, yes, let's go.
I know. I'm absolutely loving this space. Honestly, it has been an absolute pleasure. And as always, if you do, this is only a taste of what is on offer. Both myself and DearJames have come together, and we've created a 50-50 where we do 30 minutes human design chart reading, and we do a 30-minute intuitive guidance where you do it one-to-one with each of us. And if you're wanting to learn more about that, or if you're wanting to dive deeper, into any situation in your life that you may be facing, and you want some clarity and some guidance, you want to learn, you want to understand, and you want to get more answers, then please get in touch with either myself or DearJames. Because that is something that we are offering as well, which is really, really cool. So as always, it has been a fantastic Wednesday. We will see you back here next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. And then do us a favor as well. If you feel called to and inspired, you must know one person at least that will benefit from an experience like this. Please do share the video with them or tag them in the next Wednesday show, because that also helps us reach more people. And then also together we can expand the energy and hold space for the collective as we all transition into the big, beautiful human experience, or the highest expression of ourselves as human beings that we're designed to be.
And I'm just going to add in really quickly, Jaclyn, and if there are topics, themes that you would like us to cover, that you would like more insight on, please put that in the comments as well, because again, between the Wednesday show and the bi-monthly Thursday show with Science and the Soul, we are here to serve. We are here to serve and share with you. And so again, let us know what may be of importance or intrigue or whatever it may be. Give us those, and we will, as we are guided to, we will move through those as well and see what the human design and the unseen have to say, so that you're receiving what you need. We love you all so much. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Have a beautiful week with us.
You've been listening to Dear James Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions, and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.